folks, Scott here with a 10-card one kit video for a new card kit. Teresa Russell from Scrapping for Less contacted me and asked me if I would do a showcase of the Flavor of the Month card kit for the month of May. I, of course, agreed. I had looked at the Flavor of the Month card kits when I was choosing which subscription to move to, so I was familiar with them and impressed by the fact that they offered two levels. They have the double dip sundae and the banana split. And the interesting thing about these kits is that they are like 4 different collections. You get 4, so it's kind of like 4 little mini kits all in one. And you also get cardstock, a lot of cardstock in this kit, protected very well in cardboard. We get 8 sheets of cardstock in sour apple, a whipped cream, a wild cherry, banana split, craft, black licorice, and we get 2 sheets of Nina Solar White 110-pound cardstock. That's a lot of cardstock in some great colors. Now let's take a look at each of the collections. Every collection comes with an envelope, a nice square cut envelope. Of course, the theme for this month's kit is in the countryside. Our collection 1 ingredients are the Country Kitchen paper pack from Cartabella, pattern paper from Cartabella. This is all vintage stoves, some nice stripes, rather vintagey, all chickens. It's very food oriented, kind of a tablecloth pattern. Plates. That's actually quite a lovely rose pattern. And a plaid. Ooh, another brighter plaid there. Our stamp is a Brutus Monroe Farm Emblems stamp. Farm Emblems stamps. There's a little chicken, kind of like farm advertisements. Cartabella frames and tags. Some ephemera from Cartabella frames and tags. This little piece pops out from the center as well, so it makes a frame. A letter sticker sheet in pink. It's my favorite color. And sequins from Kennedy Grace to go along with that first collection. That's collection number 1. Collection number 2, again, comes with an envelope. Down on the Farm by Doodlebug. Down on the Farm pattern paper. These are 6x6 pattern papers. Double-sided. Look at that gingham and plaid. It's a nice plaid. Little piggies. Bandanas, those are fun. Cows, a cow pattern, farm scenes, farm and house. Stripes, nice bandana paisley, and jeans pockets. Our stamp set is Miss Moo by Sunny Studio. This is actually exclusive stamp just for this card kit. Very cute, a cow. Some sentiments. Cow are you? I utterly adore you. I heard it's your birthday. Down on the Farm Chit Chat, which I believe are these ephemera pieces here. Makes sense. They are speech bubbles. Cluck, cluck. I think that's a sheep. A little star, country fair. Some ephemera. Down on the Farm mini icons, some little stickers. There's another cow and a duck, quack, quack. A whole little barn over here, some little stickers, and another Down on the Farm sequin collection from Kennedy Grace. Collection number 3 pattern paper is Tiny Checks by My Favorite Things. These are single-sided, so we've got a dark green, kind of a minty green, a jean blue, a darker blue, kind of a dark purple, and a lighter purple. 2 purples, 2 blues, 2 greens. The stamp set is from Scrapping for Less. It's Piggy Picnic. A couple of pigs there, a sun, a picnic basket. Let's have a picnic. Did someone say picnic? Enjoy life. It's delicious. I wonder what's on the menu at a picnic. Of course, this little checkered tablecloth stamp here. That's very cute. We get some yellow gingham ribbon There you go. I think you can see that gingham. Some yellow gingham ribbon. And we get a sheet of farm animal stickers. This is from Pebbles. And another little mini sequin pack from Kennedy Grace. And of course, envelope number 3. And in collection 4, we have Farmhouse pattern paper by American Crafts. This is single-sided. Some little green leaves, rulers, another check, a nice pattern of flowers, and more of a peachy pinky check there. That's our pattern papers. The stamp is a barnyard stamp from Avery L. Exclusively designed for scrapping for less. Cow, a sheep, 3 little chicks over here. Hey there, holy cow, muchos gracias, how's it going? You are one of my favorite chicks, and you are the best. There's lots of little sentiments in this stamp set. We get some black and white twine in this collection, and Farm Friends stickers. These are really nice acetate stickers. The chicks have some glitter on them. Almost all of them have a little bit of glitter on them. Very cute stickers. Of course, the Farmhouse Sequin Collection from Kennedy Grace, and our 4th envelope. Now that's what you get if you order the Double Dip Sundae. And if you advance to the Banana Split level, you'll get an extra goodie bag full of stuff. This is a Nouveau Jewel Drops in, this is orange marmalade. The Jewel Drops dry translucent, almost clear with just a little hint of color to them. Some nice wide weave burlap ribbon. A large rubber stamp of a barn with the sentiment there. This is from Technique Junkies. And a die set. You also get some dies if you go for the Banana Split level. These appear to be a little chicken family. Yep, got a hen and a rooster and a chick. So above and beyond the fact that you get 4 like little mini kits with the Flavor of the Month card kit, Teresa also offers you sketches to get you inspired and get you rolling with the kit. So let's see what a quick vacation in the countryside will yield for my cards. As usual, I did go into all of the colored cardstock and made card bases for all of my 10 cards. I did make the executive decision that I would use the black licorice cardstock and the Nina White cardstock for stamping and coloring and mats and accents and stuff. So I used all of the other colored cardstocks in the kit. Now, when asked, Teresa said that I did not have to use the card sketches for this video, but I figured, why not? Let's give it a try. I've seen card sketches before in various places online, but I don't think I've ever made a card from a card sketch before. So I thought my first 4 cards, I would use these 4 card sketches to inspire me, see what we could do. And then to make the challenge a little greater, I decided that I would do each card from one collection. So collection number 1 is the Country Kitchen collection. Unfortunately, I chose to start with a collection that doesn't really have any sentiments in the stamp set. Now, the ephemera that I got said home and tomatoes 10 cents each, from my garden with love, and that old standby, homemade with love. Now, those didn't say anything to me as a sentiment, but we did have that sticker sheet that we could create our own sentiment from. So for our first card, this is actually using sketch number 1. This is using the whipped cream card base. This is using collection number 1, Country Kitchen. This is our first card. Happy clocking birthday. When I realized that I actually had enough alphabet stickers to complete this whole sentiment, I had to go for it. The little chicken stamps on the stamp set inspired me with this card. I stamped the chicken, one of the chickens, down this strip of pattern paper on the side, the rounder chicken icon on a piece of this. I ultimately used the whipped cream cardstock for both the background of my sentiment and to stamp this chicken on. So I'm only going to get one card base out of the whipped cream, but that's okay. All of this is pattern paper from collection 1. These are black mats from the black licorice. This is inspired by sketch number 1. This is my first card inspired by sketch number 1. Happy clucking birthday. A couple of sequins, that fun pattern paper with the chicken outline drawings. That's number 1 with collection number 1. Now, collection 2 actually had that great Sunny Studio stamp set that had some great punny sentiments. So, of course, I've got to go with those. My second card is on the Sour Apple card base. And we get a "How are you?" card. This is using sketch number 2. Now, I didn't plan on it, but everything worked out so that I was using collection 1 with sketch 1, collection 2 with sketch 2, etc., right down the line. These came out really nice using these card sketches. I have to admit that they did provide inspiration as far as getting rolling on this card kit. Pattern paper from collection 2. I used the flower stamp from the stamp set to stamp some flowers down the right side of this card. I stamped the little Miss Moo cow on some, this is the Nina Solar White 110-pound cardstock. I colored those with my Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. Cute cow. I love that little flower in her ear. A couple more sequins to highlight the sentiment there. I cut her out with one of my stitched oval dies. Everything's mounted up on a little bit of foam tape. A fun card, a cute sentiment, a great pun. Cow are you? And that's really a cute cow. Moving along to the third collection for my third card on the banana split card base. We've got Enjoy Life, It's Delicious, featuring a couple of those little piggies. Very cute piggies. Now, this does use sketch 3 from our sketch sheet. That little checkerboard tablecloth is what gave me the idea for this card. So it was about the right size to stamp 4 times and fussy cut. So that's what I did. I actually took that check pattern paper and did something kind of interesting with it. I took the light blue check, cut it on a diagonal with one of my stitched rectangle dies. Of course, I have to use my Lawn Fawn stitched rectangle dies. I cut that out. I glued that down to the dark blue check pattern paper and matched the patterns, and then cut that dark blue into a mat. So there's kind of a dark blue outline around the lighter blue outline. I thought that was very interesting. It's almost subliminal, but it really pulls your focus into the center image on this card. Those are matted on, of course, the black licorice cardstock, and then down to the banana split card base. I stamped the little piggies. They're really nice stamps, really fine lines. I stamped those with my VersaFine ink on a piece of the Nina cardstock. I did the same with the sentiment. I curved that just a little so it would match one of my Doris banner dies. I die cut the pigs out with one of my nesting heart dies from Doris. I did color those with my Zig Clean Color markers just because they're such small images and those Zig Clean Color markers have such fine points. So I colored those up with my Zig Clean Color markers, mounted everything up on some foam tape. We've got a Enjoy Life, It's Delicious. This card kind of makes me giggle because, well, you know, I like pork. It is delicious. So I don't know if we're talking about the pigs enjoying life or us enjoying life because the pigs are delicious. Anyway, the smaller pig has got what looks like a little piece of pizza in his hand, so they are enjoying themselves. They have the cutest expressions on their faces, a few sequins, and that's card number 3, using sketch number 3 and collection number 3. So that leaves us to collection number 4, Farmhouse Collection, with this great stamp set from Avery L. on one of the craft card bases from the kit. You are the best. This little sheep is, of course, from the stamp set. I stamped and masked her on a piece of the Neenah Solar White cardstock into a little pyramid shape there. Colored her up with my Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. This is following along with sketch number 4 from the card sketch sheet. I was actually surprised at how closely I was able to hew to these card sketches and how well they all turned out. I was very pleased. I used that great green leaf pattern paper paired up with that flowery pattern paper from my background here. That's, of course, matted onto that black licorice cardstock. After I colored the lambs, I matted that on some black licorice cardstock and foam taped that up to the front of the card. You Are the Best, again stamped on the Neenah White cardstock, matted on black, and then foam taped up here. Now, I originally didn't do separate heads on these sheep, but as I was finishing this card, I took my glaze pen and wanted to go in and highlight all of their eyes. Well, these stamps are so tiny and their eyes are so small that my glaze pen was too big for their eyes. And before I knew what had happened, they all turned into a bunch of wild-eyed sheep. So I restamped all of their heads, 6 more heads, restamped their heads, recolored them, fussy cut them all out, attached them back to their bodies with some foam tape, and wow, I think that really, really pops, and it really highlights their standing on each other in a pyramid. Those little sheep are just adorable. I tried to give them a little bit of difference, and of course the black sheep is on top. He's got a little bow on him made from the black and white twine from this selection. A few of those very interesting sequins from the Kennedy Gray Sequin Collection. You Are the Best. That's card number 4, using collection number 4 and sketch number 4. I am nothing if not obsessive. Now, since I did my first 4 cards using the 4 collections, I decided that I should give the banana split extras some equal time. So my 5th card uses the items from the banana split extras goodie bag. And on the wild cherry card base, love that red, that's gorgeous, we have our Faith Family Farming Friends card. I did pull out some Bristol Smooth cardstock to do the stamp on because I was going to use my Zig Clean Color markers to make this little vignette coloring on this farm. I cut that down with stitched rectangle die from my stash. I did put that on some pattern paper. That's from collection 2. That's from the Down on the Farm collection. That nice gingham pattern paper. I just cut a couple of strips of that black licorice cardstock to put down the sides. It's not a whole mat. I did go through and die cut all of the chicken dies to give us a little family walking across the front of our card here. There's the rooster, here's the hen, and they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little chickies following them. I figured we've got Faith Family. There's my family walking across the front. Of course, that is the burlap ribbon going down the center of this card. Really pretty. That barn is just a gorgeous stamp. Faith Family Farming Friends. There's your farm. There's your family. I hope you're my friend. Okay, now we have fulfilled our obligation to the sketches, to the collections, to the banana split extras. Let's play around with these last 5 cards and see what we got. So for card number 5, we have those great acetate stickers that came in the Farmhouse Collection 4. And I was thrilled that I got one of the cows. The cow is so funny. All of those stickers are really funny. So on the sour apple card base, we get to I utterly adore you. This, of course, is that cow acetate sticker. I just stuck that down to a piece of the Neenah White cardstock. I die cut that out with another one of my nesting heart dies from Doris. I matted the cow heart on some of the dark red check paper from Collection 4. This is that salmon check paper from Collection 4. Now, I don't have any fancy scallop dies or fun edge dies or card edge dies. I literally, my only card size dies I own are my Lawn Fawn stitched rectangle dies. So when I find pattern paper like this that just kind of screams, cut me on my pattern, I like to do that on a card. So I fussy cut the edges of this pattern paper. I did take a stamp from the Brutus Monroe stamp set in the first collection and stamped the little milk, farm fresh, 100% organic milk stamp up and down the two sides of that checked pattern paper. I stamped those in my Distress Oxide Walnut Stain ink. I did stamp the sentiment, which is from the Sunny Studios stamp set in Collection 2, on some Neenah White cardstock, cut that out with a couple of my dies, mounted those up on some foam tape, even mounted that background strip on some foam tape. That cow is just too funny. I love her expression. I did stamp some extra hearts around her using an old paper pumpkin heart stamp, I believe. I utterly adore you. A few sequins from the kit. Another cow card with a pun. Now there's still another punny sentiment on that Sunny Studio stamp set that I wanted to use. So on the Wild Cherry card base, we've got I heard it's your birthday. So I used the cow stamp from the Avery L stamp set in Collection 4, stamped all my cows here on a piece of the Neenah Solar White cardstock included in the kit. Now these 4 cows in the background are actually facing the other direction, but instead of doing any fancy shadow stamping or anything, I just stamped them on the back of the card and then put it on a light box and traced the stamps on the front. So we've got the cows facing one direction in the back, the cows facing another direction in the front. I stamped an extra cow on the Neenah Solar White cardstock, colored her up again with my Zig Clean Color markers. I did cut out that whole image with my stitched rectangle die, matted that on a piece of the black licorice cardstock, and glued that down to my Wild Cherry card base. Really fun. I love that pun. I heard it's your birthday. This is my little herd of cows. In order to make my little center brown cow pop a little more, I did color all of the extra cows just in black and white, just used my colored pencils for almost a sketchy kind of drawn look to those extra cows so that center cow really pops, really grabs your attention. I did add some Wink of Stella glitter pen to her bell on that center cow. That's all the sparkle this card needed. A great birthday card for anybody who likes cows or who lives on a farm. Now, I really liked that barn stamp, but I thought I could come up with a better sentiment than what was included on that stamp. So I just cut the sentiment away from the barn. And for this next card, we're back to the Banana Split card base. Another birthday card. You're not old, you're classic. Happy birthday. I really love the coloring on this. I did stamp the barn on a piece of Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock, so it would assist me with this fun blending in the background. I did use my Distress Oxide inks. This is Walnut Stain, Fired Brick, Orange Marmalade, and Fossilized Amber. I used my ink duster brushes to create my background here. I did, of course, cut a mask to go over the barn, so I didn't color that up with my background. I used one of the My Favorite Things mini cloud edge stencils to make this little cloud border above the barn. Really like that barn. I really like this card. Heaven knows we're all getting older, or at least we know people who are getting older. So I really like this sentiment. You're not old, you're classic. Happy birthday. I, of course, created that using my Silhouette software. This is in the Noteworthy font, and the little script classic is in the Sign Painter font. There will be links to those fonts on my website for this posting. I took some of the yellow gingham ribbon and wrapped that around the bottom of the card, added a little bow down left. That gingham ribbon is from collection 3, I believe. I matted that whole piece down to that great orangey pattern paper from collection 4, and then down to that banana split card base. Really, really nice birthday card. Really pretty pictures. Now, I knew I wanted to use those little chick stamps in the Avery L stamp set from collection 4, but maybe because I'm a guy, I didn't particularly care for the "you're one of my favorite chicks." For some reason, that felt a little misogynistic to me. Maybe it feels different coming from a female, but I felt coming from a man that was a little degrading. So I decided to, of course, make my own sentiment for my little chick card. So this is actually on the Nina White 110-pound cardstock because I used up the other half of my whipped cream cardstock. I needed to use 1/2 of a sheet of the Nina Solar White for a card base. So this is what we get. I'm so glad you're one of my peeps. That seems much less threatening to me than calling anybody a chick. So I stamped my 3 chick images on a small piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock, colored those with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens, cut that out with a stitched oval die. One of the strips from the pattern paper stripes had chickens and hens on it, so I cut that out of that pattern paper. That's from collection 2. And then I took my leftover gingham ribbon and trimmed the edges of that pattern paper with the little edges of that gingham ribbon. Gives it a nice little shine, a nice kind of finish to the edge of that pattern paper. I then took a piece of my own craft cardstock. I cut a 1-inch strip of that and used my Ellen Hudson stitching lines die to add stitch lines to the top and bottom of that strip. I put those 3 things together and I felt it still needed something else. So lo and behold, I remembered those bandanas from collection 2. So I took the yellow bandana, matted that on some black cardstock, split it down the middle, spread it open to go behind my focal image here. I thought that worked perfectly. I'm so glad you're one of my peeps. I created that on my printer using my Silhouette software. This is, of course, in one of my favorite fonts of all time, the Brady Bunch Remastered font. I did die cut that out with a Tim Holtz die from his Compass Blueprint set. This fit perfectly. I thought it went very well. I cut the sentiment out with this die and then 3 more pieces from that black licorice cardstock to make a nice thick chunky sentiment on the bottom here. I did use my Nuvo drops in orange marmalade to add a couple of highlights to the edges of that sentiment. Such a cute card. I love those little chicks. I'm so glad you're one of my peeps. Great friendship card. So we finish off with our last craft card base for my final card this month. If you've been following me at all for the last year or 2, you know how much I love my puns. You know I also like using song lyrics as sentiments on my cards. So for card number 10 this month, this is what we get. Something in the way she moves. This was totally inspired by this chit-chat ephemera piece that said moo. So I actually created this little scene using pattern paper from collection number 4, collection number 2, and collection number 3. I pieced those all together. I did cut those out with one of my stitched hillside dies and then cut them all 3 out together with a stitched rectangle die. I took a little Distress Oxide ink and walnut stain and did a little inking on the edge of the hill here, this front hill. I love the fact that the little farmhouse pattern paper looks like it's in the distance. Our lovely cow is on a hill much closer. I love the gingham check in the background for the sky. Something in the way she moves. And of course, attracts me like no other lover. Bum, bum, bum. I couldn't resist. Just that something in the way she moves tickled me so much. I did Stamp the Cow from the Sunny Studios stamp set in Collection 2, stamped her on some of that Bristol Smooth cardstock, and colored her with my Zig Clean color markers. I did add a little tiny gem in the middle of her flower right there. I love that flower. Something in the way she moves. This card tickles me to no end. I love the scene I created. I love the sentiment, which makes me laugh every time. I, of course, have plenty of supplies left over, lots of pattern paper, of course, all 5 of those great stamp sets. I almost used all of my cardstock. This is all I have left of that black licorice cardstock. This is the whipped cream cardstock, and I do have 1/2 sheet of that Nina Solar White 110-pound cardstock left. Of course, I have 4 envelopes. This set was a lot of fun. Now, I've lived in New York for almost 30 years now, but I was raised in Kansas, so it's not like I am unfamiliar with the country life. And it was actually a nice respite to go back to the farm and create some fun cards. Now, I know Teresa still has this card kit available on her website, Scrapping for Less. I had a really good time putting these cards together. It was a great opportunity for me to color, for me to practice some of my backgrounds, for me to play with some more new, fun sentiments. Thank you so much for joining me today for this slight detour into another different card kit. I hope you enjoyed these cards. I certainly had a great time putting them together. It's always a pleasure to share my time here with you today. Please like me, list me, pin me, post me, share me with all your friends. Don't run with scissors. And happy crafting. If you'd like more detailed information, better pictures, and product links, please visit my website at CardCutups.com.